Is the Israel-Hamas war finally nearing its end? The 8-month conflict between these two regions has yielded deadly and destructive returns that have affected the lives of millions of individuals. To bring an end to this destructive war, the United States has deployed its most powerful aircraft carrier to the Mediterranean Sea, hoping to restore peace between these regions. Which of the sea beasts were sent to this region? Is this move enough to settle the water that has been disturbed for quite some time? Join us as we explore the peace-restoring and equally lethal features of the U.S. new $500 million that is ready to save Israel. The war between these two regions has been ongoing for a while now, and it appears as though there's no end in sight. The conflict began when Hamas launched an unprecedented attack on Israel from Gaza on October 7, 2023, resulting in the destruction of properties and loss of lives. As a way to get this war to end at once, the United States has deployed the world's largest ship, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, equipped with advanced weapon systems, the best ship defense system, and 90 maneuverable airfighters that are ready to attack at any second. To lay emphasis on the gravity of the situation, the USS Gerald R. Ford is accompanied with equally formidable and lethal cruisers and 4 destroyers that are equipped with nuclear missiles. But that is not all, because this movement also includes a reinforced United States air group. According to the Pentagon, this decision to strengthen the Defense Department's position in the Mediterranean region was concluded after several meetings regarding the present conflict and to deter Iran from widening the war into a regional conflict. In the months since, Iranian-backed militants in Iraq and Syria have seized on the war to conduct regular attacks with rockets, drones, and missiles on the United States' military installations there. What ship would be better than the formidable Gerald Ford strike group? This aircraft carrier is the perfect solution to deter the enemy and put an end to this conflict at once. Several questions concerning the Pentagon's decision have been asked, and one of them is the USS Gerald R. Ford and the other ships accompanying it powerful enough to restore the peace between Israel and Hamas? Well, let's get right to it. Launched in 2009, the USS Gerald R. Ford has made its impact felt in the world, not only because it is a new generation aircraft carrier, but because it was built with a need in mind, and that need was to strengthen the United States Navy. Anyone familiar with the United States' military sector would definitely know that the nation doesn't joke around with its defense systems, and regardless of the amount they would spend building it, they wanted the aircraft carrier to be perfect. And just as you imagine, this ship is the definition of perfection. The aircraft carrier was designed and built by one of the best industries, Huntington Ingalls Industries, which is the only nuclear ship manufacturer in the United States. This aircraft carrier is a nuclear ship, and it is equipped with 2 nuclear reactors weighing over 1,000 tons each. They allow the ship to serve for a very long time, as the developers themselves say. This aircraft would be operational for over 50 years. On this massive ship, almost all of the energy of the power reactor is used to power 2 large electric motors the size of 4-stack pickup trucks. These motors produce 1,100 megawatts of power, which is equivalent to 1.5 million horsepower. This large aircraft carrier has a deck of 1,100 feet long, 260 feet wide, and 245 feet high. Also, the ship weighs 100,000 tons. This is the first time an aircraft carrier of this scale would be developed, and this is the reason why it is the largest in the world. The USS Gerald R. Ford is equipped with the world's deadliest armaments, the Mark 15 Phalanx CIW's air defense system. This system is considered to be one of the best anti-aircraft artillery systems in the world today, and all because it has a firing rate of 4,500 rounds per minute and an initial projectile velocity of 3,600 feet per second. Another formidable weapon is the LPWS, or the Land-Based Phalanx Weapon System. It is the weapon system that is designed to shoot down incoming rockets and mortars. When attacking, the Phalanx creates a continuous arc of projectiles that looks like a laser. The Gerald R. Ford also has a laser, the Lockheed Martin's Helios shipboard laser system. This laser is powered by the aircraft carrier's nuclear reactor, which allows for continuous attacks on enemy aircraft and missiles at a distance of 3 miles. The laser's power is enough to damage aircraft electronics, or completely destroy projectiles flying towards Gerald R. Ford. The RIM-116 is another weapon that can be found on this aircraft carrier. The gun carries about 20 missiles that are capable of shooting down targets at a distance of 16 miles at a flight speed of over 2,200 miles per hour. As mentioned earlier, this aircraft carrier doesn't move alone. It has an airstrike group that consists of 90 fighters and helicopters. According to a Pentagon spokesman, before deploying the carrier to the Mediterranean, Washington reinforced the Gerald R. Ford with squadrons of F-35, F-15, F-16 fighters, and an A-10 attack aircraft. Each of these aircraft poses a deadly threat to the enemy, making it difficult to say which is the most dangerous. The F-35 is perhaps the best modern fighter jet, equipped with advanced technology, including laser and missile weapons, and an engine capable of vertical landing. The F-16 is also known as the best fourth-generation fighter, combines extreme maneuverability and speed, and can attack with supersonic missiles up to 70 kilometers away. It was originally designed as a lightweight, low-cost fighter for air-to-air combat, but has evolved to handle both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions, making it a true multi-role aircraft. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, with its powerful GAU-8 Avenger cannon, capable of firing 3,900 rounds per minute, can destroy any ground target. Although the A-10 is an old generation, it remains a powerful reminder of American aviation's strength, able to reach places that other fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters cannot. The Gerald R. Ford carries a wide range of weapons, but it also has unique equipment like a cable landing system for helicopters. For a helicopter like the Apache to land on the carrier, it must make a vertical landing, which is challenging in high waves. A special rope helps pull the helicopter to the deck safely. The Gerald R. Ford has a larger and more spacious deck, facilitating easier takeoffs and landings. The new design reduces obstacles and improves deck space organization, enhancing safety and efficiency. The aircraft carrier is also equipped with 3 elevators, each capable of lifting up to 65 tons of cargo, down from 4 in the Nimitz class. This was designed to improve flight deck usage. Below the main deck, there is a large area resembling a parking lot for aircraft, including space for stealth bombers like the B-21 Raider, which can launch surprise attacks on enemy bases. The Gerald R. Ford is accompanied by reliable escorts wherever it goes. The strike group includes Ticonderoga-class cruisers, the main class of destroyers in the U.S. Navy. These ships can target entire enemy armies with SM-2 and SM-6 systems and Harpoon anti-ship missiles, which can destroy enemy ships up to 250 miles away. The Harpoon missile is highly maneuverable and flies at about 16 feet above sea level, making it nearly impossible to intercept with other missiles, leaving only machine guns as a defense. The presence of these ships also helps deter conflict escalation. Previously, American and Turkish combat groups held large-scale military exercises in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Vice Admiral Michael Boyle, commander of the United States Third Fleet, stated that during these exercises, necessary actions were taken to mitigate potential storm damage to fleet infrastructure and vessels. Safety remains the top priority, and deploying combat-ready ships to sea helps manage situations ashore. In such cases, withdrawing the fleet from the harbor is standard practice, as ships can maneuver to avoid storms. Despite their size, aircraft carriers like the Gerald R. Ford can still be affected by natural ocean movements, but they are designed to remain stable even in strong waves. This Ford-class carrier offers a distinct experience for sailors, unlike any other carrier they may have served on before. The biggest threat to a ship isn't its hull. Modern aircraft carriers like the Gerald Ford have advanced systems that automatically adjust to changes in wind and waves, keeping the ship stable. Storms aren't a danger to these giants, but they do pose a risk to the equipment on the deck, including fighter jets. To protect this equipment, carriers often move away from storms. Interestingly, the maneuvers of U.S. warships sometimes align with military operations, such as the appearance of the USS Carl Vinson in the Black Sea. This Nimitz-class carrier, launched in 1980, has been active ever since. The F/A-18, a versatile fourth-generation fighter and attack aircraft, features enhanced range, stealth technology, and modern weapons. It is designed to handle the demands of carrier operations, like catapult launches and hard landings. The F/A-18 is the most advanced aircraft many young pilots have ever flown. It is a twin-engine, mid-wing, multi-mission tactical aircraft. It is highly maneuverable due to its excellent thrust-to-weight ratio, digital fly-by-wire control system, and leading-edge extensions that allow the Hornet to remain controllable at high angles of attack. The trapezoidal wing has a 20-degree sweepback on the leading edge and a straight trailing edge, with full-span leading-edge flaps and single-slotted flaps and ailerons on the trailing edge. The canted vertical stabilizers are another key design feature, contributing to the Hornet's excellent high angle of attack capability. Other features include oversized horizontal stabilators, oversized trailing edge flaps that act as flaperons, large full-length leading-edge slats, and flight control computer programming that enhances control surface movement at low speeds and adjusts the vertical rudders inward. The Hornet's high angle of attack performance was rigorously tested and improved in NASA's F/A-18 High Alpha research vehicle, which demonstrated handling characteristics at angles of attack between 65 and 70 degrees using thrust vectoring vanes. F/A-18 stabilizers were also used as canards on NASA's F-15 SMTD. The Hornet was among the first aircraft to heavily utilize multifunction displays, allowing pilots to switch between fighter and attack roles with the push of a button. This force multiplier capability provides commanders with greater flexibility in rapidly changing battle scenarios. It was the first Navy aircraft to feature a digital multiplexing avionics bus, facilitating easy upgrades. The Hornet was designed to minimize maintenance and has significantly less downtime compared to its heavier counterparts, the F-14 Tomcat and the A-6 Intruder. Its mean time between failures is 3 times greater than other Navy strike aircraft, requiring only half the maintenance time. Its General Electric F-404 engines are notable for their operability, reliability, and maintainability. The engine is robust under various conditions and resistant to stall and flameout. It connects to the airframe at only 10 points and can be replaced without special equipment by a 4-person team in 20 minutes. The aircraft can reach speeds of Mach 1.8 at 40,000 feet. The Hornet's engine air inlets are of a simpler fixed design, unlike the variable geometry or variable intake ramp air inlets of the F-4, F-14, and F-15. A 1986 USMC study found that single-seat fighters were well-suited for air-to-air combat missions, while dual-seat fighters were preferred for complex strike missions against heavy air and ground defenses in adverse weather. Single-seat fighters without wingmen were shown to be especially vulnerable. Moving on to the aircraft carriers. The presence of the Carl Vinson with F/A-18 fighters in the Black Sea could deter Russian aggression against Ukraine, as its technology can potentially neutralize the entire Russian fleet. The development of these carriers began in 2005 when the U.S. Department of Defense contracted Huntington Ingalls Industries to develop a new class of aircraft carriers. Construction started in 2006, focusing on the hull and various systems, and took 7 years to complete, with the launch in 2013. The new carrier has advanced lasers with a range 3 times longer than previous versions. The laser operates at 200 kilowatts in normal mode, disabling enemy electronics and missiles up to 6 miles away, and can switch to 400 kilowatts mode to target enemy bombers and frigates up to 13 miles away. With these advancements, the Gerald R. Ford has the added benefit of stealth, allowing it to approach enemies undetected, disable coastal defenses with its laser system, and launch surprise attacks with its fleet of fighters. No one would be prouder of this ship's commissioning than the President of the United States. The carrier has a fleet of 75 advanced 5th-generation aircraft, piloted by skilled aces from older carriers. Unlike older steam turbines, the Gerald R. Ford uses a direct-drive electric propulsion system, which is more energy efficient. This system uses multiple electric motors powered directly by nuclear reactors, enabling the carrier to reach speeds of up to 30 knots with excellent maneuverability. The ship is 1,092 feet long and 253 feet wide. It can accommodate up to 90 fighters compared to the 80 fighters on the Nimitz, which has a shorter deck. The older carrier uses steam catapults in machine gun anti-aircraft systems, whereas the new ship features electromagnetic catapults and laser defense systems, which are much more effective. The foundation being laid with the Gerald R. Ford will last for the next 50-plus years, making it not only the most technologically advanced warship in the Navy, but also the greatest. The dedicated team of engineers working on the Ford faced many challenges and tight deadlines, but overcame every obstacle to deliver this impressive ship. There are also plans to enhance the Ford with even more formidable weaponry, such as railguns or microwave systems. Such advancements would propel the flagship aircraft carrier to an unparalleled level of power. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has ordered the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier and one other warship to remain in the Mediterranean Sea for several more weeks to maintain a two-carrier presence near Israel as its war with Hamas grinds on, U.S. officials said. It would be the third time Ford's deployment has been extended, showing the continued concerns about volatility in the region during Israel's war in Gaza. Having two U.S. aircraft carriers in the region has been a rarity in recent years. Multiple U.S. officials confirmed the longer deployments approved this week for the Ford and the USS Normandy cruiser on condition of anonymity because they have not yet been announced publicly. Other ships in the Ford strike group had already had their deployments extended. At the same time, the United States warships in the Red Sea have intercepted incoming missiles fired toward Israel from areas of Yemen controlled by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. They've also shot down one-way attack drones headed toward the ships and have responded to calls for assistance from commercial vessels that have come under persistent Houthi attacks near the narrow Bab el-Mandeb Strait. As of Friday, there were 19 U.S. warships in the region, 7 in the eastern Mediterranean, and 12 more stretched down the Red Sea, across the Arabian Sea, and up into the Persian Gulf. Austin ordered the Ford and its strike group to sail to the eastern Mediterranean on October 8, a day after the attack by Hamas that set off the war. The decision to keep the Ford in the region was mentioned as Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, mentioned that it would take months to destroy Hamas. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan met with Israeli leaders to discuss a timetable for winding down major combat in Gaza, but they repeated their determination to press the fight until Hamas is crushed. The Ford's roughly 5,000 sailors have been waiting for a Pentagon decision on whether they would get to go home for the holidays. The ship left Norfolk, Virginia, in early May to deploy to the United States' European Command, and under its original schedule, it would have been home by early November. The original plan was for the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower aircraft carrier strike group to replace the Ford in the region. But Sabrina Singh, in a Pentagon briefing on October 17, said Austin had decided to extend the Ford's deployment and have both the Eisenhower and Ford covering the waters from southern Europe to the Middle East. The United States military commanders have long hailed the effectiveness of American aircraft carriers as a deterrent, including against attacks, hijackings, and other aggressive behavior by Iran and its ships, as well as strikes on commercial ships in the Red Sea by the Houthis. The Eisenhower is in the Gulf of Oman and has been patrolling in the Middle East along with the USS Philippine Sea, a Navy cruiser, and 3 warships, the USS Carney, the USS Stetham, and the USS Mason, all Navy destroyers, have been moving through the Bab el-Mandeb daily to help deter and respond to attacks from the Houthis. Other ships that are part of the Ford strike group are the destroyers USS Thomas Hudner, USS Ramage, USS Carney, and USS Roosevelt. While the U.S. regularly maintained 2 aircraft carriers in the Middle East during the height of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, in recent years it has tried to turn its attention and naval presence to the Asia-Pacific. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.